we will now move on to look at the reaction that acyl chloride can undergo. Now, let's look at the formation of ester. Now, we know that ester is formed using carboxylic acid and alcohol. But this reaction here is a reversible reaction. Even with the use of concentrated H2SO4 as a drying agent to push the equilibrium to the right, the yield is still quite low. And therefore, this is not a favorable reaction to form ester. So to form ester, we prefer to use something that's more reactive, which is our acid chloride to react with alcohol. So when you use acid chloride to react with alcohol, what do you notice? We notice that the reaction can take place at room temperature. No heating is required. And we no need to use corn H2SO4. We don't need the acid catalyst corn H2SO4 because acid chloride is much more reactive here. And take note, this reaction, the formation of ester using acid chloride, is also a condensation reaction. Recall what is condensation reaction? Condensation means that you have two molecules, so acid chloride, alcohol. You join them together to give you a larger molecule, which is the ester. And in the process, you eliminate a smaller molecule, which is HCl. This is what it means by condensation. And to form HCl, your acid chloride will contribute the Cl, alcohol will contribute the H to give you the HCl here. So these are two other examples for the formation of ester using acid chloride and alcohol. Now, over here, what you need to take note, the formation of ester using acid chloride is also a nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction, similar to the one using carboxylic acid, where your alcohol has the lone pair electron, it will act as a nucleophile. So remember your acid chloride, the carbon is electron deficient because it's bonded to two highly electronegative oxygen and Cl. So the lone pair will come in to donate to the carbon and substitute out your Cl. Okay, so it's a nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. Now, acid chloride can also react with phenol. Other than alcohol, it can react with phenol to give you the ester as well. Similarly, the reaction can take place at room temperature without the use of any catalyst. So this is also condensation, where acid chloride and phenol join together to give you ester by eliminating HCl. So your acid chloride will contribute the Cl, phenol will contribute the H to give you the HCl. Now, what you need to take note, similarly, this is also nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction, where phenol uses its lone pair electron to donate to this carbon and substitute out the Cl. But what you need to take note here is that phenol is a weak nucleophile to perform this reaction here. Why is it a weak nucleophile? Because the lone pair electron on your phenol is mostly delocalized into the benzene ring, the pi electron cloud of the benzene ring. And when it's delocalized in the pi electron cloud of the benzene ring, it is less available for donation. Okay, so it's not a good way to react phenol directly. And hence, a better method will be method 2, where I transform phenol into a better nucleophile, where I add phenol to sodium hydroxide in stage 1. So in stage 1, an acid-base reaction will take place, where phenol is deprotonated to give you phenoxide ion. Okay, so phenoxide ion and anion will be a stronger nucleophile, and hence, once phenoxide ion is formed, we will add acid chloride in the second stage to react with the phenoxide ion. So phenoxide ion with its lone pair electron will come in to donate to the electron deficient carbon and substitute out the Cl. So you form the ester and you substitute out as a Cl minus. Okay, so what you need to take note here is that if you use method 1, you will produce HCl. But if you use method 2, when you write out the equation, you notice that in stage 2, Cl minus is formed, not HCl, because your hydrogen is already lost in stage 1. So there's no hydrogen in your second stage to form HCl. So take note of the difference. Okay, so what's the use? So you need to know why we add sodium hydroxide. So the use of sodium hydroxide is to form phenoxide ion so that I can form a stronger nucleophile than phenol, allowing the nucleophilic substitution to take place more readily. So with that, we will now do a summary on the formation of ester. So when you look at the first one, carboxylic acid and alcohol, we can form ester. Now when you look at the second one, carboxylic acid with phenol, there is no reaction at all. But if you change it to acid chloride can react with both alcohol and phenol to give us the ester. So you will need to know why phenol cannot react with carboxylic acid to form ester. Now recall, the formation of ester with carboxylic acid is a nucleophilic substitution reaction. So if you use alcohol, the nucleophile is the lone pair, is your oxygen, where you utilize the lone pair to donate to the electron deficient carbon and substitute out this group. Now, if you look at phenol, phenol actually also has a lone pair of electron. So by right, it can also donate to the electron deficient carbon and substitute out the OH group to give you the ester. But there's no reaction between phenol and carboxylic acid. Why is that so? Because phenol is a weaker nucleophile than alcohol. Why is it a weaker nucleophile? Because this lone pair can be delocalized into the pi electron cloud of the benzene ring. So because of the delocalization of the lone pair, this lone pair will be less available for donation. So once it's less available for donation, it will not be nucleophilic enough to react with carboxylic acid. Okay? Hence, there's no reaction with carboxylic acid. So if you want phenol to form ester, I cannot use carboxylic acid. It's not reactive enough. Okay? Carboxylic acid is not reactive enough, and hence I need to use something that's more reactive. Phenol is a weak nucleophile already. So for you to react with phenol, you need to use something that's more reactive, which is acid chloride. So therefore, when you look here, when you look at the summary here, you notice that phenol, for it to react, it must react with something more reactive, which is your acid chloride. Okay, and not carboxylic acid. Now then for the next part, what you need to take note, so we have looked at this one, why there's no reaction. Now, then the condition used is also different. So when you use carboxylic acid with alcohol, we must have concentrated H2SO4 and heat. Then when you use acid chloride with alcohol, it can take place at a milder condition at room temperature. So the next question you need to ask yourself is, how come alcohol can react with acid chloride under a milder condition? Now, just now I told you that this one here, acid chloride is more reactive. Okay, why is it more reactive? Because the carbon is more electron deficient. And why is the carbon more electron deficient? Because the carbon is bonded to two highly electronegative atoms, Cl and oxygen. Hence this carbon is highly electron deficient. But the next question you should ask yourself, when you look at carboxylic acid, isn't carboxylic acid doesn't this apply to carboxylic acid as well? Because the carbon in your carboxylic acid is also bonded to two highly electronegative atoms, two oxygen. Therefore, this carbon should also be electron deficient. And hence, these two carbon should be equally electron deficient. Am I right? So, why do I still say that my acid chloride is more reactive here? So, what is the issue with acid chloride here that make them more reactive? So, when you look at carboxylic acid, what you need to take note here is that for carboxylic acid, it is bonded to OH. OH, there's lone pair on the oxygen. This oxygen can delocalize into the pi electron cloud of your C double bond O. So this C double bond O can contribute, this C double bond O has a pi electron cloud. And how is this pi electron cloud formed? So what you need to take note here is that this pi electron cloud is formed via the overlap of 2p orbital of carbon with 2p orbital of oxygen. Okay, so how does that affect its reactivity? So what you need to take note here is that because of this delocalization, your carbon in your carboxylic acid is actually less electron deficient than in acid chloride. So this delocalization, what is happening here is the p or the 2p orbital of the oxygen will overlap with the pi electron cloud, and the pi electron cloud is made up of the 2p orbital as well. So we are using a 2p orbital of this oxygen overlapping with the pi electron cloud that's made up of 2p orbitals. So 2p overlapping with 2p, the overlap is rather effective because both of them are about the same size. So because this overlap of orbitals is very effective, therefore the delocalization of lone pair of electrons from your oxygen is very effective towards this carbon here. And when the lone pair can be delocalized very effectively towards the other carbon, it will reduce the partial positive charge in that carbon. So it makes that partial positive less positive. So it reduces the electron deficiency. And hence, that carbon is less electron deficient and it will be less susceptible to a reaction with a nucleophile. Okay, so that partial positive carbon is less electron deficient. How about that acid chloride? Now, acid chloride, when you compare to acid chloride, so for carboxylic acid, because it's less susceptible, we need a more vigorous reaction, a condition for the reaction to take place. Now, when you compare to acid chloride, your partial positive carbon in your acid chloride is actually more electron deficient. Now, why do I say that? Now, in acid chloride, yes, the chlorine here also has a lone pair that can delocalize, okay, which will reduce the partial positive charge of that carbon. But what you need to take note here is that the chlorine is using a 3p orbital to overlap with the pi electron cloud. Okay, remember your pi electron cloud is formed using 2p orbital. So you are using 3p overlapping with 2p. So your 3p orbital is generally more diffuse. So you are using a more diffuse orbital to overlap with a 2p orbital. The overlap will be less effective. So because of the less effective overlap, therefore, even though the lone pair can delocalize on chlorine, the delocalization is less effective. So most of the time, the lone pair is still on the chlorine atom. So because it's still, most of the time it's still on the chlorine atom, your carbon in your acid chloride is more electron deficient, and hence it will be more susceptible to a reaction with a nucleophile. So I just need a milder condition. Okay, so what you need to take note here is that for carboxylic acid and acid chloride, even though carboxylic acid is bonded to two highly electronegative atoms, oxygen, but the delocalization of lone pair electron from the oxygen is more effective. This will diminish the positive charge on your carbon, making it less reactive. Okay? So that's why your carboxylic acid here is less reactive as compared to acid chloride. Hence here we require a stronger condition. Here we just need a milder condition. So you go back and reread that paragraph again to further your understanding. Now then, for the next stage, when you use acid chloride with phenol, because we say that phenol is a weaker nucleophile, we need to add sodium hydroxide first. So recall, why do we add sodium hydroxide? So phenol is a weaker nucleophile. When you add sodium hydroxide, acid-base reaction will take place to give you phenoxide ion, which is a stronger nucleophile. So the forming of a stronger nucleophile, okay, will help to allow nucleophilic substitution to occur more readily. Okay, so that's why I add sodium hydroxide first, to allow phenol to change to phenoxide, a stronger nucleophile. Okay, now then the next question you should ask yourself, since this one I change to O minus, it can react with acid chloride very readily. Why not when it react with carboxylic acid, I change the phenol to O minus, a phenoxide ion. So if I let carboxylic acid react with a phenoxide ion instead, will it allow ester to be formed? So this is the next thing you need to consider. Doesn't mean that you change phenol to a stronger nucleophile, it will form ester with carboxylic acid. Because what is happening is, instead of forming ester via nucleophilic substitution, an acid-base reaction will take place instead. Because now, my carboxylic acid is actually a weak acid. Your phenol, the phenoxide ion form, is a conjugate base of phenol. So a conjugate base is a base. So an acid in the presence of a base will react. So your acid, carboxylic acid, will lose a proton to form COO minus, while phenoxide will gain a proton to form back your phenol. So instead of forming ester, an acid-base reaction takes place. So don't think that you change to a stronger nucleophile means that there must be formation of ester. Okay, so take note. So over here, this part here summarizes the different ways that you can form ester, and you need to know what is the condition used and why those conditions are used, the reason behind this condition.